You really want to be as tight on these as you can be nowadays. The clip art was a little out for me. Usually they got one. If that would look like Schrodinger's cat with a bunny on it, that would have been the key hit on what it was to pull up the electron. I decided to pause it here before I will let it play a little bit. Just we'll pop in a type of an electron, if you will, for a moment.
We can never actually see a fuzzy wave packet because the electron takes on precise properties when we measure it. Looking at the electron means resolving its location and spatial structure. As we measure more precisely, the wave function shrinks to something particle-like.
Okay, so we are going to melt all that down into 1 second. What was it? The fuzzy bunny and its point-like. So windage, the 7-year bunny cycle, fox and rabbit populations, other things that go on determine what are things that are mass defect aspects of it. The very tail end of the coronal event that says, if I take the coronal event, then I can determine the total mass of the star, because essentially electricity. Right. When you're doing the Kitabaga stuff about programming, well, that's the bunny. We're talking about windage, right? There's the red comment section that was a 1 or a 0 as far as prior events that said, as an XY line, are you talking about temperature or nanometers? When nanometers turn into time, as far as redshifting the radio waves from a gamma source, that's going to wind up like ripples on the pond, why it's fuzzy, Brownian motion. Those are point-like bunny rabbits. That means that they're running around. They have routes. They have little ecosystems in themselves that's going to put compressor, globular states, loops, if you will, if you like the Richard stuff on hydrogen. Because essentially that's what that is. In a free space, ideal, AC or DC, right? And both of those are a Bohr 4 that work. So in a way, calories are a working joule. You had Zach Starr with the lever, a stick I'm letting him hit you with on the Knights piece on my chessboard. When we get into that, the lever here is going to be X and Y, the fulcrum, the pulleys, all these other kinds of things inside here. Point-like.
But
hard to determine the fuzziness of exactly what you're...
see a tiny...
Back to point-like. And that's the bandwidth. It'll always do that. Now that we have observed it, now we have different stars, different C4 explosion, the daisy cutter, the MOB, whatever that's going to be. If this was the Smith chart and I was dilating to a 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional square, well, then I have to program in the nature of that thing so it does this on command. That command here is the Turing, Boltzmann, or the voltage 1. Click. I hit the button. That button series an event. That event opens up into the system. I shoot at bunny. It starts to run away. I shoot at bunny because I'm hungry. 2,000 calories a day. What's more important there, because the scale of the electron is this whole write out. This entire event, because what's the continuance of, what's the second day but a continuance really of the first one by the books? What I did have was a break between the 8, 8, and 8, 8, and 8, which is 1 over 3, right? That's 1/3 of it would be this portion of the section. And then I'll have 2/3 of not sure, AI car, running it around, but only one Zeno's paradox of the timeline. Now, cars can do that. And to a certain degree, I can add arbitrarily weights that continue the momentum for the most part until it starts to dovetail off. That vacuum energy creates quark states in there that are key cases about astrology, looking out into space or into the electron microscope to determine better chip configuration. There, it's still a physical level for us to have to program machineries that have to move very precise distances. And, well, that's why we cut out the hunter for what it is, but not to say that a gatherer couldn't serve that same notation. Weak force standards here are going to do the figure 4 in the same way. Both of the hunter and the gatherer do the thing, so.
A ball or an infinitesimal speck of charge and mass,